Hey biology crew, this is Mrs. Chambers at Holland Chambers Biology bringing to you the lab demo for the plastic pollution or trash analysis lab. Now the first thing I want to go over is in the lab demo it says to observe at first glance what you're looking at. Well, the real thing, by the way, is right here, so I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. But I'm going to switch this over and show you a picture of the real thing. So here is what we call a bolus. And so the top up here is what it looks like when it's compacted. And then the bolus, as I scroll down, once we open it up, it looks like all of that. So I want you guys to take about 30 seconds and tell me, where did this come from? Now, a couple key hints is that this was found in the North West Hawaiian Islands, and this did come from a living organism. So this isn't just a piece of poop, okay? We're looking at this actually came out of a living organism that, ate this. And the question is, what organism did it come from? Okay, so that's your first observation. So what do you think you're looking at? And then you're going to draw and label some of the few things that you recognize. So let's go ahead and go back to that first page. And I want you guys to take a second and look at, or pause the video, and look at 3 things that you can maybe identify. So there's definitely some plastic in there. Looks like maybe some fishing line. Can you guys identify anything else? Maybe it looks like a plastic ball or maybe a bread clip thing going on here. So draw 3 of those. Okay. And then ask yourself, where did this come from? Okay. So what animal did this come from? Again, some of the key things can be found right in here. So it's actually real. And again, this is real as well. Came from a researcher that went out to the North West Hawaiian Islands, which is a sanctuary. So normal people like you and I cannot get on this island because it's protected. And so that's the big key thing, is that this is protected. So if it's protected out in the middle of the ocean, like thousands of miles away, first of all, where are they getting all these plastic pieces and who's eating this? Okay. So I want you guys to predict right up here what animal you think it's from, what animal might have eaten it, and then why. So it is predicted that this item came from a seal because. So why did you say a seal? Or I think this is predicted that these items came from a sea turtle, okay, or a marine iguana, or whatever, and then tell me why. All right, so that's your hypothesis. Now, this next part here, it says it'll be shown by Mrs. Chambers in the lab demo. I've actually made it a lot easier for you guys. Instead of looking at the picture that I've given to you, you're gonna go back to Google Classroom, and you're gonna upload the second attachment, which is the winged ambassadors, which is where I got the original bolus from, which is from Okonos. Okay, now as you scroll through these pictures, this right here, guys, this is your data. Okay, all you have to do is pick 2 of them. That's all you need to do. Just analyze 2. There's a whole bunch here. So you go through and you're going to count what it is that you see. So I see these maybe claw things or beak things or whatever it is that you guys want to call them, and you go through and count them. Well, if I see something different, like right here, I'm going to identify it as a different object. So I'm going to call it maybe blue piece of plastic. Here's looks like maybe a line. So I'm going to call that one line. And then here's another line. Here's another line. So you're going to analyze the data, analyze 2 of those. And then when you go back to your data chart, right here, you're going to tell me what the name of it is. And again, you can guess. You can say blue piece of plastic, unknown line. Tell me how many of those that you found between the 2 photos. Okay, so you need to analyze 2 photos. And then you tell me, do you think it's man-made or do you think it's natural? So, are those little like hook thingies, are they man-made, or does it look like it came from an actual animal? And then over here, you're going to tell me what the total item is divided by the final total. Okay, so I need a percentage. So if you have, say, 10 plastic pieces and I have one red button and the total is out of, say, 11, right? Then you would say, well, 1 out of 11 equals this percentage, or 10 out of 11 equals this percentage, okay? So just remember to take the item divided by the total, and then that will give you your percentage. So move the decimal over twice. From your percentages, oh my gosh, we're going back to the very beginning of school. This was literally the first day of school when we did the shark data. This is your pie graph. And so I want you guys to go back and remember how to do a pie graph. And remember over here on the side, you need to include a key. So you need to tell me what that subject is. So plastic pieces or lines, and then you need to give a color to it. Now, if you guys don't have colors at home, whether it's markers or crayons or whatever, give a design. So my plastic piece is a bunch of dots. My line is going to be shaded in with, pencil. So just remember, use your key to then analyze. And of course, because we are rounding up our percentages to whole numbers. So again, let me repeat that. You're going to round up your percentages to whole numbers. Your pizza pie total is either going to be a little bit above 100% or a little bit below 100%, depending on how you rounded everything. So don't worry about that. Just, do the best you can, okay? Now, once you're done with the data, I want you to go back and look at your hypothesis. So what animal did you think it came from? So again, where did this bolus actually come from? And what does your data now show? So is there any type of correlation? Can you, confirm your claim or are you still kind of unsure? Okay. Then I want you guys to watch a National Geographic video, and these videos are actually already uploaded for you on Google Classroom, right over here. Okay. And then you're going to correlate that information back to the lab itself. So you're just going to correlate all of your data back to the questions here in the lab. Okay, so pretty simple, pretty easy. The biggest thing here, guys, is that you're not analyzing data from me directly. You're going to go and open up that other tab that's on Google Classroom and start to analyze 2 of these. So you just pick 2. You don't need to do measurements. You just need to go through and count them. And then again, you don't need to worry about whether or not you guys are right or wrong on what it is, because we don't know what it is. It could be anything. So you could say, well, that's a blue piece of hair, or that's a, a piece of tin foil, or somebody else might say that's, a piece of metal. So just, kind of do your best, but just, again, try to count as much as you can. If you guys see like these globs over here, obviously you can't go through and count one glob of straw. What I want you guys to do instead is like maybe look at it as like a percentage. So out of a whole, okay, this is, maybe 1 or 2%. So then maybe just skip the number and then go to a percentage instead, and you can kind of fill everything in along the way. All right, so hopefully that will help you guys out. Again, this is Mrs. Chambers bringing to you our trash analysis lab. If you have any questions, make sure to pop in on our Google Hangouts that are throughout the week. Instagram, DM me, or email me on School Loop. All right, guys, have fun with this, and hopefully you will learn something new.